Hello, we are Geeks Assembled,
Hello?
and we are discussing season 2 of Loki, the six-part TV series what aired earlier this year. So it takes place straight after the first season, and all time is gone to pot. Really, the timelines have branched out. And it's the end of time, shall we say? And Loki's trying to figure out how to save the day.
Mhm.
Which is strange, seeing as he's a villain. Um, you think Thor would do that, wouldn't you? But here we go. But Loki is a lovable rogue. Is Loki?
I'll explain that later.
So we'll go over to Susan for opening thoughts on the season 2 of Loki.
Okay. So Loki is having these, they kind of look like, they look like sort of reality seizures. He's just being ripped apart and just like stretched and twisted,
Yeah,
and then he
they
vanishes, and then he
yeah,
time travels to somewhere else, and then he goes through that whole stretching and twisting and just until he's put together again. And that looks like it really fucking hurts. It looks like it's just not fun for him to be going through that stuff. I feel really bad for him. And
that's called time slippage.
time slippage, yeah. And it looks a little bit more like slippage. It looks like it's kind of like time epilepsy or
Yeah.
time conniption or a time fit, that's really where it rides in my mind, because it looks like it hurts so bad. And then when OB or Boris, like played by our the fabulous uh P1, who's in the you might remember him as one of the companions of Indiana Jones, a youngster called Short Round.
Yeah.
Just fantastic actor. And he's all grown up, and he was in Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Another multiverse thing.
and another multiverse thing, and then this is a multiverse thing. And so he sees him do that, and he goes, God, does that hurt? And Loki says no to everybody else, but then yes. He's like, yes, it does hurt. So, you just gotta understand that for the first half of this season or more, he is experiencing a disability which is creating a challenge for him. Um, and then um, he does some like strategic time travel, like even more strategic than just following uh following the TVA around. He goes back in time to see Kang the Conqueror be just doing some, you know, pretty fun, so, like carnival tricks
Mm.
with a device that's remarkably similar to the one that he creates for the TVA. And so that's pretty interesting. And then there's a big sort of uh trying to encounter the clock, miss minutes.
Hmm.
And that's fun because, you know, that's kind of like, you know, like a chase through some different realities and different time streams. And um, yeah, and so like there's also a big point of contact with the big loomer device or time loom or time warp or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they're trying to scale it up. So they have to do all these steps to scale it. And Obi comes up with this plan and Loki and they they endeavor to fix it up so that it runs properly. Anyway, this is a really fun show. There's some pretty awkward stuff in there, like Loki's in love with himself. Um, the Sylvie basically is himself, so Loki's in love with himself, and yeah, it's great. It's really fun. Tom Hiddleston, amazing, and Owen Wilson as Mobius. That's who his partner is Mobius, and Mobius is amazing, and Owen Wilson has done so many cool things. He just runs with this one. And then, there's Gugu Mbatha Raw, who we all know from Doctor Who and from Martha Jones's Family. Anyway, she's great in it. And yeah. And Tara Strong it plays Miss Minutes again. So, the voice acting is top notch. Tara Strong is she's a goddess. She does so many cool things with her voice. She's yeah. But Kiwi Kwan is the coolest is Aurora Boreas and Aurora Boreas is a symbol in like old mythology, and it's the symbol of it's like a round symbol and the snake eating its tail.
Mm.
Anyway, like that's what the symbol comes from. And there's an issue with Kang or He Who Remains or you know uh, Victor Timely or the Timekeepers or he is he's had a couple issues recently with relating to people badly.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so he's a good bad guy in this thing, and he's a good bad guy in real life. So yeah. Anyway, let's see. I the enjoy the interplay a lot, and I love the characters, and um, it's fun that there's another multiverse story here. Oh, and the one that I'm very fond of seeing in things now is an actress called Liz Carr. She's a little person, or she is she has something going on with her that makes her very unique and very divergent and very diverse. And she's cool as hell to watch. I just think the world of her as an actress, and then there's of course there's the cast of thousands of extras, and it's really well done. It's very very beautiful. very very Art Deco, leading to very science fiction-y, which is cool. It's cool as hell. I don't know. Yeah, that's my opening. Right back over to you, Lee. Oh, and a question. Are we reviewing each episode separately or the whole shebang? Because there's 6 episodes. It's
The
like a
whole
Doctor Who it's like a Doctor Who adventure.
the whole shebang.
All right.
Yeah, it's compared to season one, this has a sort of a different feel to it. Because it's mainly set in the TVA. In season one, they were out and about. They do hop into another time and place in this one, but it's mainly set in the TVA, where they're trying to stop all time consuming everything. Which you're just going round and round in a. It's not like a time loop, but it's every time they try to change something, a little thing here and there brings it back to the first thing what happened. So they can't change it until centuries of Loki doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah. Um, and when you're watching that, you think, wow, he's just biding his time, centuries of doing learning, doing this, doing it over again, start again, do it again. It's just do it a little differently. Wow, you think he's got patience. Um, and also as well, where they're all the timelines are pruned, and the TVA members get sent back to their own timelines, and you find out one's Alcatraz prisoner. Mobius is a jet ski salesman. you know, and OB's a wannabe scientist or something, isn't he? But yeah, and this is definitely the last season. They're not doing any more after this
Yeah, I
because
don't know that they could because I mean, once they've blown it up, what else is there in the TVA?
but also as well, Loki gets his throne at the end, sitting there at the end of time, just watching the timelines and
True. Yeah, we'll get to the character arc of Loki in a second.
so yeah, it's a very different feel to the first season. It's a little bit more confusing because of the time jumping, the time looping. Because if you don't pay attention to a certain thing, you'll be wondering what's going on. So it can get a little bit confusing. Um, but all in all, 6 episodes. It was enjoyable. Um, I watched a couple over 3 nights. I watched 2 episodes each night and enjoyed it. As I said, I got a little bit lost of thinking, "Oh, what's going on here?" But then I caught up and I thought, "All right, I see what's going on now." Yeah,
When the situation comes back around, right?
yeah. You think, right? It's. But this is what these time paradoxes, stories.
Causal loops.
Yeah, they do mess with your head sometimes, and you've got to pay attention, or
Ah,
you will get lost it will get lost in translation.
yeah.
So Susan, anything moments or
Oh
anything?
well, uh I loved the part where they get the Watcher, the one who remains, Kang, into the same suit that we see Loki and stuff in the first season. Um no, the beginning of the second season, we see him in that suit, and they're like, "Go as fast as you can, and then turn around and walk as fast as you can backward," you know. And they get him in the suit, and he goes, and he does it, and he knows that he figures it out on the device because it's the same. It's just a bigger version of what he just created, and he figures out how to fix it, and it goes, and then he comes all the way back, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting, and oh my gosh, the thing blows up again.
Yeah.
So it's like literally every step that they needed to take had been taken by that point. All the causal loops were closed. All of the possibility was present. All of the good changes, the knowledge was there, the science was there, the tech was there, the people were there, the experience was there, and the the haste was there. The haste was a pretty important point in this thing because apparently, your skin boils away, and the suit goes away, and then your skin goes. Pretty much everything goes by the end. It's a disintegration experience. But it was really cool seeing them work through that. And I think they can start off by you know sharing about Loki as a character. Loki as a character he starts off as a trickster,
Yeah.
and as a proper foil for Odin, not for Thor, but for Odin. Thor's uh Thor's foils are all of the humans on Earth, okay? It was Loki that was poised to hurt Odin in order to get back at the Earth and Asgard and everything, you know. And so he's gone from being um, for real a foil of a god to being a foil of time itself.
Hmm.
He works so hard through like these first two seasons to work out some of his anger issues, work out some of his responsibility issues, learn how to take ownership, learn how to give 110%, learn how to generate a comfortable feeling around him, and like so that he can gather people around him that are working on the same problem. And he also learns to be compassionate. Like they're at the center of all of this. It started off as a fixation with Sylvie, but by engaging all that hardical muscle, like they say in reggae, you know, engaging all of that, boom, you turned he turned the corner, and he became sort of compassionate with the creation, compassionate with people who are stuck in time doing what the TVA, all those people not being able to live out their lives on the timeline. And that was super hard that was a big movement in his case. And so he was great. And Tom played him like he could be transgender too, because I love that he was into Sylvie and stuff. But the whole thing that he was not only just into Sylvie, but Sylvie was him, was her into him, and like they were the same, and yet they were also attracted to each other. So like that richness of experiential acting by predominantly by Tom Hiddleston. You know, he really fucking went the distance with that. And you know, we've been looking a lot recently at some of our favorite characters, gender swapped or transgendered, and that a lot of the time that makes people really uncomfortable. But the way he grew through that experience was also really key to learning um about the changes that people go through. He sees Ouroboros, you know, and he knows that Ouroboros in his isolation is no good for anybody, that he needs to be working with people. And he sees that Mobius is has a real fun life, like you were saying, as a jet ski salesperson. And then he moves into this place with Mobius of like supporting that and anything else that he wanted to do. And I just think that you know, that diversity builds more room in the world. And so I just think that there's a real character arc with Loki, and Loki starts off as a trickster and becomes a sacred clown at the end. He becomes someone who is has you know, turned their life over with joy to making things better. And that's it's a very holy place, and it's very fun. And it is the highest form of trickstering. It's that clowning, it's that generosity. It's kind of the same battle that the Seventh Doctor has in the greatest show on in the galaxy, you know. That that battle just changes people and makes them strong and good and wild. I mean, it adds wildness into the whole mix as well, which is like it's kind of like what you see amongst some people, like, you know, the twin in Boy George's case, or Lee Bowery or whatever. Like these people just, you know, get further and further out, and things just get really weird around them. And that's Loki to me. And so I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the show, and I love the character arc that he's had. And yeah, fantastic. Anyway, back over to you.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't supposed to be a second season of this, was there?
Don't.
Uh, yeah, but the success of the first season forced Marvel's hand to do this season. Because oh well, we're on to a good thing here. We'll do another season. And
Not complaining.
Tom Hiddleston has said he hasn't finished playing Loki, but I don't know where he'll go from here.
Huh.
Um, unless it's in another movie or whatever. But yeah, great characterization of the comic book villain.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, he was basically a villain, and now he's a compassionate hero.
yeah, the sort of twisted that on its head, haven't they? And that's due to this series,
Yes.
because you never got that in the movies.
No.
But his growing friendship with Mobius, um, it was
That,
quite touching. That was quite touching. The scenes there where they were back on Earth. Mobius was just leading a normal life, and
this
Loki was.
great big RV and stuff.
Yeah, Loki came to drag him back to the TVA. Quite moving scenes there.
Mm.
Um, yeah, for me, it's the time loopage scenes what make it for me, because they are very to write something like that without making it too complicated.
Uh-huh.
Because remember, this is supposedly for kids, isn't it? Supposedly. Um, you've got some great writing there on some complex theories of time.
Mm,
Um,
no kidding.
no kidding, yeah, but they sort of made it more understandable for us people what don't really understand all the ins and outs of those physics. Um, but yeah, it was just the time spent over and over again. You're thinking, wow, this is sort of a sapphire and steel.
Oh, so good. Yes.
Um,
I see that. That's a really good,
do it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, sort of thing. Uh, but yeah, it's as you say, great acting from everyone, really. And I agree about the character OB. He's so much a likable character, which was some time paradoxes, shall we say? You know, without he wrote the book, but his book was based on Timely's book, who
got it from you.
I don't, you know, and the way you look, going back in time and back in time, changing this, changing that, going back in time so he could stop the future. Well, it is, it was, but it all came together like a jigsaw in the
Mhm.
end. Yeah, it was a fun watch. I just wonder what they're gonna, because they're gonna have to create another series for someone of these Marvel characters, and hope to God that they'll make them as good as this one.
Oh.
So, I mean, when they did Hawkeye, I didn't think I'd enjoy that, but I loved it.
Hmm.
I've loved Loki. I've loved what's the other one?
But you would love Loki because you actually enjoy a time travel story more than most people, more than just the normal everyday folks. Because I mean, this is one of the great things about Geeks Assembled is we have talked about so much time travel.
Time travel. Oh,
Holy cow! I mean, it's like that's really where we sort of geek out and shine brightest, you know?
yeah, but yeah, it's great. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say about it. It's just a great watch. It's everybody's acting the socks off in it. Um, yeah, Tom Hiddleston. Has, I mean, I've seen him in other things.
Hmm.
He's great. He's great in other dramas and in other movies and stuff like that. But he always comes back to Loki.
Hmm.
It's a character I think he'll never get tired of.
It's a bit like David Tennant with the Doctor.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, am I right? Am I right? Yeah,
coming back again. Oh dear.
that's it. The equal sign for the same.
So, anything else you want to say about Loki before we go to Fansense go?
Um, yeah, I thought that the Loom was a really awesome addition to the TVA. I'm
Yeah.
really glad that it wasn't just that little display on the, the little teleprompter because they needed to build that out, especially since they put so much into either the matte painting or the CGI of the TVA.
Mm.
I mean, they created this huge space in there. I mean, you just think of it in terms of like, an office building that's six blocks on this way and 6 blocks on that way, and then it goes all the way up to the moon, and it's just this ginormous building, something you just blows your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the office part of that, and that's amazing. But then we had to get to the structure part where the magic happens, so to speak. So cool. And I love those little trails at the end, uh when people were disintegrating, like all of those little rods of their, or point strings of their lives that will come out. That's fun. Anyway, I just enjoyed the hell out of this, and I'm glad
So,
we got around to reviewing it. So
so
yeah,
what would you give this season 2 then?
I give this 10. I give this 10 time looms out of 10. I just think that they really went all the way with this. And I think it's cute that Sylvie feels most at home serving food at a fast food restaurant. I mean, really? Anyway,
Yeah, really. For me,
yes, she
it
must be
can,
in the management track or something.
yeah, for me, it can get a little bit confusing because of all the running about at different times, backwards and forwards and all like that. But so I'm going to give this 9 TVA manual handbooks out of 10.
And
So that's how.
it's like the whole thing with like the communist revolution. There's like the little red books, the sayings of Chairman Mao or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our review of season 2 of Loki. Hope you enjoyed us waffling on, because that's what we do. We're good at that. And if you like the season, please leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of it. Leave a comment below if you'd like to join us. We're on all forms of social media, so just leave us a message below under the video. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell notification button, and you'll get notified every time we put a video. If you'd like to join us, as I say, messages again. You've got to be 18 plus and just have a working camera and microphone on whatever apparatus you use. So I think that is it for now.
Yeah, that's it.
So we're just going to go off now and prune some timelines.
Or I'd like to say, just have a great time, whatever time it happens to be, wherever you happen to be watching this.
Or in any time.
In any universe.
That's the case. Yeah, there might be no TVs back then, though. Well, we say we're getting complicated now.
Yeah, we are. We really are, and we created another possibility.
Or the geeks assembled. The possibilities are endless. And they haven't put quarters yet. Well, and what was you doing there? Was you dancing? Tales of the Unexpected. Anyway,
Awesome.
and this is water. So bye bye for now. Until next time, or whatever time. Be seeing you.